Hello, I'm Nidanoski, and welcome back to more Night of the Full Moon. Now, we all want to see the new class, the Engineer class. I would love a chance to play her, to show her off on this channel. But in the meantime, we have not gone over all of the changes. For instance, the Harvest Festival brought about new cards to everyone, and I thought this would be a great chance to play our Nun deck. Now, the Nun deck hasn't gotten a lot of love here on the channel. We haven't played it as much as we could have, and I thought, let's go ahead and fix it. So we're going to jump right in, hopefully see some of those new elusive cards, and talk about them as they've come up. I've played the Nun class and gotten some of the new cards without recording, and boy do I wish I would have. Ooh, Moonlight Enlightens. Now, alone, there are some better Nun blessings, but when you combine this with later Nun blessings, for instance, the double prayer blessing, this becomes one of the most powerful blessings we could ask for. Let's go ahead and start transforming as well. We got, peek into the future. We are definitely leaning towards a prayer deck. There's our Rage. Let's see what we can do. Now, both the blessing and... I could have done that for one turn shorter. But the blessing and peek into the future will cut down on the time frame. And if you get the double double prayer blessing, where the enlightenment cuts down on the first prayer turn by 1, when you do the math out, it will actually... I could have done that again. Speaking of math, I should be doing that while I'm talking. When you do the math out, the doubled prayer, because it goes off of double what the first prayer comes down on, let's actually gain some gold. It will double the first one, indicating a 2-turn discount, and then it will apply the discount of the enlightenment again, meaning that it's a 3-turn discount. So if you... let's get some armor. If you play a prayer down for, say, 5 turns... okay. Counter that. Deal a pitiful amount of damage. Then what you're going to get is the first blessing will go off... or the first prayer will go off in 4 turns. Speaking... oh, it dodged, so we'll do that. And then... that's a 1-turn discount. The second prayer, which would normally go off at 10 turns, instead goes off of 7 turns. So, very, very powerful combination. I'm hoping we get that later. If we don't, I'll be sad. That can be good, but we're going to say no to this. We're going to say no. We're building up for the Rage Prayer. And we'll fight the Chef. Okay. And we'll see what we can do there. Now, if you haven't seen the Nun play, ultimately, the prayer cards have a certain power time frame. And when they go off, on whatever time they are either selected by you or by the card itself, they'll have very powerful effects for which you've waited for. Now, they stay on the field. They don't go back into your deck until the prayer's gone off. And various cards will interact with them in a lot of ways. Let's go and cure while we have that. For instance, this peek into the future would speed up prayers by 1. Oof. Okay, so let's see. At this point, we'll... set it down and do... yeah. Okay. And then we should be able to finish it as soon as the prayers go off. Prayers go off at the start of your turn. You also have penance builds, which go off at the end of your turn. And depending on the equipment we get, we may dabble into that. Okay, grab some armor. They also have overhealing as a concept. Heal yourself and then overhealing produces effects. That's where we're getting our armor from. We want to make sure... You know, I bet we could do it in that many turns. He does heal, our fugitive friend here. Excellent. So it'll go off at the beginning of our next turn. There we go. Alright, we have the opportunity to transform again. Not the worst card to get. And then we have a chance to use Amnesia. Now, I'm going to grab our Rage Prayer. It's a very powerful version of the attack prayer. We're going to go ahead and cancel. Okay, that... We don't have any good options. I'm going to set that for 3. I'm going to set that for 3. I'll let you have some armor. Use up your mana as well. The beggar ends up taking... taking any card that we don't use and then using it against us. I'm going to gain the mana because I don't want you gaining mana at this point depending on what I get next. Ah, here we go. And only throw the use of our Blessing Do prayers become instant if we select one turn. Now, Falling Stones is a very good card if we invest into a prayer called Smite later. I'm not sure that I want to, but Smite will ultimately go off in 5 turns. We can't set it for less, like we can with Rage Prayer. And then it will do an attack of our choosing from our deck 5 times. Now, Falling Stone increases its damage 4 plus the number of turns, which can be very, very good. So long as we don't speed it up, which of course we're going to. It's a 9 damage minimum if it goes off and you've played it on the first turn. But we're going to go ahead and... Or 9 damage times 5, so 45 damage minimum. Going to go ahead and grab that instead. Let's increase our Moonlight code, shall we? Amnesia, we can still pay. But at this point I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm not so certain I want to get another Amnesia. Ooh, do I get a heal prayer? Yeah, we'll go ahead and get a heal prayer. We have another peek into the future, but we have, perhaps more importantly, the Life Talisman. Life Talisman works well with other equipment, but also renders you immune to fire damage, to poison damage, and any other damage that would occur on your turn. So I'm actually going to hold out for that, which means goodbye Smithy. What comes from our greedy chest? Both are good. I'll take both. And our shy chest. Ah, Piety, a great card. Also speeds up prayers. And I'll be saying goodbye to the Amnesia. Okay, and here we have that Grimmelkin shop. Anything I want from there? No. Okay, and so we have just the bandages left. Alright, I'll be taking... Yeah, I'll take your Swift Strike. Oh, very nice. That's what I was hoping for. I set them all down for 5. I'll use Peek into the Future to drop it down. I'll do 3, so... We have their 5 turn effects going off in just 3 turns due to various things that we've done. But it's going to go by even faster due to Piety. Now, if we were hurting, we could use our None ability, which allows us to convert 50% of the damage that we do into health. And in fact, because I anticipate we may be hurting before this goes off, I'll go ahead and activate it just as a precaution. But that wasn't the case. It was pointless to do that. We level up. Ooh, Gospel is one of the best prayer enhancers there is. If we get a chance to double it, we should. And current prayer timers increase by 2. And then if the prayer card gets triggered, So long as it's not an exiled one or a duplicate, it'll go back into our hand. And so now we have enough money for our life talisman. We don't have enough money for peer into the future, but we are now effectively immune to both poison and and burn. Maximum health increase for every card we pick up. That'll be nice. Okay, so here is our first dealing with penance. Confession, it says gain confession 1, but the actual buff is called penance, and the spell that gives you the buff normally is called confession. You don't get a confession card through this. That's an important distinction because there is an artifact you can equip which will give you confession cards. Prepared or... Ooh, remember I said about the copy one? Combined with our enlightenment, this should be very good. Let's grab memory. What is in here? Okay, we have one of the new cards. We have Glorious Prayer. And that one restores mana. It can be very useful. And then we have Smite. But we don't have any attack cards that we really want to use Smite with. So I'm going to actually move on. We're going to take a look. A Prayer of Doom is good because we can disable their deck. But I'm not going to go for... This is another one of the new cards, Regretful Prayer. We get 3 confession. After 3 turns, we trigger the confession effect. Remember, we're doubling prayers, so we will add 6 confession or penance. Ooh, and a piety. I'll take that. And we've just gained all the health we lost on that blessing back. So let's go fight the Gravedigger and see how we fare. Now, do you see how I mentioned 4 and 7? So, effectively, we have a 4 or 1 turn discount and a 3 turn discount. And that should be a prank, right? Yeah, that was the prank we discarded. And so I'm going to do that. I'm not going to really be doing anything else because he's going to get the cards we get. Alright, and so we're going to watch the combination work. So now I have that at a 1, that at a 2. I'm going to get both back when I use Gospel. Excellent. And that way they don't go to his deck. And then we're just going to end. We have another 4, 7. He loses that because we countered it. Now, one thing to note, if you have this combination and you select 1, they'll both go off. So I'll deal 8 damage immediately, or 2, they'll go off in 1 turn. And that's another thing that you can do if you want to work it in with Gospel. Alright, there we go. Use some bandages. Get some amnesia. And we'll start the witch effect. We're going to get another 3 health here. You know, I like Turbocast. Not sure how well it will serve our deck, but I do like it. Grab that. What is our blessing? You know, I'm going to grab this. The 4 prank cards can be difficult, but we transform cards. And I think that's going to be very good. Upgrade you. And we have the chameleon. And I swear this chameleon is purely based off of Randall from Monsters Inc. or Monsters Incorporated. So right now, you can see just that 1 card gave us 6 penance. Penance is piercing damage, goes through everything but immunities. And it's going to go off every turn. But it's also going to go off in 2 and 3, or 1 and 2 turns. Ooh, interesting. And then I'm going to get double healing to kind of undo whatever the chameleon or Randall is going to do to us. Now, I could use speed to just get an extra turn. And we're going to charm again. I'll just charm for an attack. And then we use our killing penance to destroy them. That prayer which adds the penance is amazing. So we'll fight the suspicious chest. Suspicious chest. I can't speak tonight. We'll go first always. Oh. Whatever prayers we get, we'll basically be able to use their 5-card effect immediately if we so choose. Then we'll bring that down, we'll gospel it, and they'll absolutely perish. Okay, we are back shopping. There's our smite. I'm fairly certain we're going to be getting rid of that Grimalkin shop without getting anything. Ooh. I'll drain your life. Thank you. And then we'll counter the very first card you play. Excellent. These dragons are, of course, only available during the Harvest Festival. Let's go ahead and do that. Do the piety. Spells cost 1 less. And there goes Drought. Ooh. I'm going to go ahead and select, and because we might still pick up Smite, I'm getting rid of the mana instead of the basic attack. Let's transform one of our 5 pranks. And let's fight our castle heroes. Grab some 7 armor. Right now, healing is our only protective card. Oh, those pranks are hurting us just a bit. And so, you know what? Let's take an extra turn. Kind of recover here. Ah, perfect. Yeah, I'll grab that for some mana. And then at the start of our next turn, we should do a very large amount of damage without having to play any cards. There we go. Very nice. What is in this shop? Holy Providence could be good, but I'm going to actually save our money. We may end up saving it. Let's trade a prank away. Okay, we got the sword. I'm going to be mostly saving it for, I think, the 3rd chapter, where some of the cards, if we can get them, are just absolutely amazing. And so we will start here. I'll grab that. I'm not going to use Piety right away. I'm going to wait until after I've used Wind Fury. Okay. So we'll do that. And we're going to let this build up a little bit. We're going to be taking extra damage, unfortunately. If I can get Gospel, you know, that counts. It's going to be doing that, that, and we're fully healed. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and go with max health. Unlike other casters, because prayers don't use mana, we don't really need a lot of initial mana. Let's pass on this. We can gain 8 armor, but I'm going to say later to that. And what is our blessing? Magic statue. So we're going to get 1 temporary copy of the first card we use each combat. Not great. Maybe not worth it. Let's see. I'll give you a prank. But in certain circumstances, it can be. So we counter the first card, and you get one of our pranks. We're going to speed it up, gain some armor. And... oh, very nice. Yeah, we'll give you Turbocast. Just because I really want to start doing that piercing damage. And we're going to just do a wonderful amount of damage to him. Perfect. Alright, what do we have here? We have another Prayer of Doom. It is still tempting to pick that up. When you cast a spell, no. I'm going to go ahead and ultimately pass on that for now. And let's fight Plague. Okay. And what I'm going to do here, I may end up using our extra turn. We have so much prayer going on, but with very little boosting. And yeah, we'll do that. That. We are still sitting at a high amount of health. And I would much rather use discipline over that. We're going to go ahead and heal for a very little bit at the start of the turn. Not nearly enough. Okay. And Gospel blows them all up and gets our prayers back. Very nice. Tempting. It will get special delivery as kind of an emergency card. I don't know if I've ever had to cancel a Spring of Life. I really don't want to give up on Smite in case we get a really, really good... and we're at 12 piercing damage. Very nice. Go and counter. We'll steal your 16 one. You know what? I'm going to do that. That goes off. And we destroy you. Yeah, just in case we get an attack card worth using with Smite. Like Falling Stone. Now, the trick with Prayer of Doom and doubling, you can definitely double if you want small effects, but if you go large enough, it'll be spaced out over multiple turns. And we'll take that from you. And that way, they're denied their hand multiple times. So after 3 turns, they draw 4 or less. After 5 turns, they draw 4 or less. You don't want the spell going off at the same time, or both the duplicate and the normal going off at the same time, unless the initial won't fully keep them from drawing cards. So I'll do that. Draw. Okay, and here they're drawing 4 less cards, so no cards for the Christmas Dwarf. We'll heal. They'll get to draw this time, but next time they won't get to draw at all. It's very nice. And we'll shuffle even more pranks into your deck. Start countering, and you fail. So a little bit of a drawn out there just because... Yeah, let's transform another one of them. We get a prayer. And we're probably not going to be getting smite. A little bit of a delay just because of all the pranks. So let's do that. That. Yeah, when we get that particular prayer as our starting prayer, it's very, very useful for us because we're just doing so much damage. Okay. And here we'll do special delivery. And so next turn, it's going to go off again. We're going to do 24 damage total from our penance stack. And then we will do it again, but only for 12 at the end of the turn. I'll do vampire. Don't have enough actions to really make prediction worth it against an action deck, but we will see. Oh, and he got a rage prayer due to all his charming, I'm sure. But as you can see, our prayers are better stacked. Hopefully we'll get gospel. We did get gospel. So let's go ahead and activate that. And then we'll go off again. Alright, I'm going to grab another equipment slot. And so we are going to move on to Chapter 3 with almost 200 gold. Now, we have a few things we could do. But I'm going to do Justice Trial. Justice Trial with a Nun deck is amazing because we build up damage over time and then it just becomes amazing. And it's said amazing too many times. Mana Shield. I'm going to pass on that. We're going to take a look there. I'll go ahead and upgrade our Magic Boundary. Cancel on that. Modest Chest. You know, with how little use for health we get, this isn't the worst thing we could get. Or how little use for mana. I'm going to pick that up. I'll pick up a Holy Providence. It exiles itself. But what we're looking for is a shop. Hoping to find one. Here we go. Alright, so nothing amazing there. Nothing amazing there. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. We may not get the cards I'm looking for. Ultimately, there's a staff spell card. Which... Then we'll do that. So we'll heal at 2, 3, 4, and 4. Which puts into play every prayer in our deck. And of course, both of our prayer blessings interact with that. So they'll come down at a discount of 1, and then the duplicate will come down at a discount of... excuse me. Of 3. What are we going to do? Interfere. Shuffle 2 pranks. I will definitely take that. And I must say, it plays copies of them. It doesn't actually... and then let's go ahead and do that. It doesn't actually play the prayer itself. There we go. And it's just an amazing card. Not a big fan of the Church Doctor. And we'll go ahead and end there. Church Doctor ultimately says you can't play the same type of card in a row, and it becomes very difficult, particularly with our style of deck. Alright, and we will take... It will take Quicksilver. I'm going to end the turn just so we can get these in and maybe stack any prayers into it that we get. Grab that. Now let's go ahead and... Oh, and we are out. But we knew that was going to happen. We could have extra turned it, but we didn't. And then we do all that extra damage. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Doctor. Oh, and Grandma's advice. Thank you, Grandma. Let's go fight the Bear Mage. Oh. Double that for sure. Now, as for this, we'll get random cards. And we will counter. Now, if I could get extra of these prayers, I'd be happy with that too. It's just so effective to have them. So very, very effective, especially with Gospel. Ooh, I'm not a fan of Feral Child. Feral Child does an amazing amount of damage early on. Ooh, a Gospel and a Revenge. Revenge can be very powerful, but I'm gonna skip that. And what do we have here? We have Stab Attack for a Smite. But it's a weakened version, so I'm going to pass on that. We can get a Confession. But no, I'm going to pass on that. What's in our chest? Later, pass on that. And a Suspicious chest. It'll go first. Probably should have done Grandma's Blessing there. Ooh. Counter. And at this point, I want to heal up. We're going to get extra turns. And I realized that we had an extra turn from... Yeah, that was a complete waste. From the watch. Okay. And then we'll have at least one go off at the start of our turn. We may need to use this, depending. And yeah, we'll go ahead and have that go off. We're going to have a lot of the damage, and you can see our Justice Trial just really hits hard. And is that a level? It is. Okay, here is our Confessions book. It'll get us a confession every turn, and I would much rather have that equipped automatically to that. This is the pair that I was talking about earlier. You want to have immunity from damage because Confession will deal you 2 damage every turn. But the level 2 Confession can be worth it.
Do you want a hug? Don't stand in the way of snow monsters.
Okay, and this time we're going to go ahead and get Grandma's Blessing twice. Ah! That works out well. Get Confession. Have Gospel go off. Oh, wow. We're up to 22 on that alone, which means we've won.
The snow monster is in love with the stove.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and transform our basic attack. We get another confession. Self-torture, our confession will go off. You know, I'm going to actually grab that. We'll grab wisdom. Don't want the hand card. I'm not a big fan of random. That said, ooh, misfortune is a good one. And of course, Prayer of Doom is as well. So, do that. We're going to have a lot going for us in just a couple of turns. We're going to want to be careful that we don't speed things up too much. If we get a gospel, we shouldn't play it. And, well, there we go. I'm actually going to heal. And then to ensure I heal from whatever the Frog King is going to do, let's go ahead and activate our Discipline. Discipline is, of course, going to heal us for all this damage that we're going to do this next turn. 50%, that is. And let's grab some armor. Confessions are now free. Excellent. And then gospel goes off. And that works. That works very well. Still somewhat avoiding... Let's see, what was here? I'm going to pass on this shop. I'm avoiding the feral child. I may not actually fight the feral child if we get the level. I shouldn't have done that. Except that we are at 12 confessions. 15 confessions. And if we get our confession prayer, it will be amazing. And we did. Let's throw that down, get it back, throw it down again. And I believe when we start our next turn, we win. Justice Trial will at least ensure we win at the end, if we survive, apparently. We survive with 4 HP. And you know, let's go ahead and heal where we can. And we'll end dealing 35 and 31 damage, respectively. Heal up. What will we amnesia today? It's amnesia, one of our predictions.
Hesitation can be deadly. I came from the darkness.
Okay, here we go.
Turn to the darkness.
Ooh, choose one. I'm going to do that. We are going to choose that. Then I'll choose... Oh, here's our staff that I was talking about. Put a copy of all prayer cards into the battlefield. Unfortunately, we can't exactly do it right now. I'm going to save Gospel for that purpose. And then we are going to go again in hopes that we'll get the mana soon. Okay, we did not. It is expensive. So I'm just going to do that, and end the turn. We're going to be doing a lot of damage and countering cards. Okay, get our confession, self-torture. Draw. Another confession. We have enough. So you can see we have row after row of prayers. Let's speed some of those prayers up. And we will end our turn. So I got to show off the card. We may not have gotten the card, but we got to show it off. Take additional health. Absolutely. Ooh, and let's face death. Death can be somewhat of a challenge to face. I'm going to try for the extra turn there. I did not get it, but I got that, which is good. Now, we may need to end up healing. It's going to do 40% of piercing damage to our health. We'll do that. We'll do that. Okay, we are healing for more than it is doing. And with when we activated it, we should be at full health, I hope. Just so long as we end the turn. Excellent. Or, you know, have all of our prayers go off. We'll get extra health from that. And we should be able to level up just off of this. I'm actually going to go with that. Get our staff. And then counter. We have a number of prayers. Our penance is going to go absolutely crazy. And our penance plus our Justice Trial may be able to end this. Yep. Justice Trial is up to 57 damage. Let's grab an equipment so that we can just have that. Do we want to do the fire or the feral child? Let's look at this. This might be a mistake running. Ooh. Grab that for later. Feral Child does an absolutely disastrous amount of damage. Okay. We'll reduce the cost. And those prank cards are still coming back to us. We're gonna heal for some of the damage, but this is terrible. Okay, let's go and take that. Just because we can. And then I'm gonna end the turn. Yeah, that was not worth it. I just wanted to see what was behind before we got rid of Amnesia. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and get rid of protection altogether. And then let's work on thinning out our deck. We don't need so many attack prayers. We don't need Confession. We definitely don't need the pranks. And we can thin it out once more. But I'm pretty happy with where we're at. We're going to get rid of one more confession. And we'll fight the cursed werewolf. Okay, so you're going to have Justice Trial as well. So it's one Justice versus the other. Counter card to hand. Takes one less damage, but our piercing somewhat ignores that. Your basic attack cards deal 3 damage. We're going to start with that. And I'm actually going to go with that. And then, because it's to our benefit, we'll go and get an extra turn right away. Reduce costs. Okay, we are up to 20 penance already. And we countered your counter. Or at least the one that denies. Yep, you'll take that. And you'll start to heal. Okay, how are we on prayers? We don't really benefit, do we, from using gospel right now? We want to wait on that.
Forbearance only breeds unprovoked evil. I will no longer hold back.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, most of our prayers have found their way back into the deck. And our Justice Trial wins us the game, along with our penance stack, just by ending the turn. And there's no Phoenix Resurrection. Our massive amount of health isn't a make it or break it, but makes the enemy's attacks feel pointless. You know what, let's see what we can counter. That's fine. Do you counter that? Nope. So, put that down again. Yeah, I wanted our penance prayer to win. So here we are. Here is the end, as it were. And this is the deck. Really the stars. Let's talk about Moonlight Enlightens. And Recruitment of Believers. These two together are incredible. And along with Clown's Trick and the Nun's ability to transform cards into something else. Regretful Prayer, great thing. Grandma's Blessing along with the Magic Statue. Now, Magic Statue gets a lot of grief, but if you have cards that are amazing and start in your hand every time, Magic Statue is basically a duplicate that card when it's to your advantage. Confessions was really more icing on the top. Really, none of the equipments were make it or break it, but they were nice to have. Rage prayers were good, and of course our gospels were amazing, as they always are in a prayer deck. So if you enjoyed this, let me know down below. I would love to hear from you. And if you want to see more just like this, then definitely drop me a subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification, and we'll make sure to get these out to you, and you'll be notified when they arrive. We will get information on the engineer as soon as we can. We would love to play with that and see how it goes. I am Nidanoski, and as always, have fun.